Hello, let's talk about Onyx Storm because I read this book in less than 48 hours. Today is Thursday. The book came out on Tuesday. I don't quite know how I managed to read it so quickly, but here we are. We have a lot we need to talk about. So first things first, obviously, this is going to have spoilers in it. I am going to be talking about what happened in this book. And yeah, there's going to be spoilers in this video. There'll be spoilers in the comments. So if you have not read the book and you do not want to know what happens in the book, you do not want to see any spoilers, please click away from this video. If you have read the book, please talk to me because I've made a lot of notes. So let's just get straight on into it. So first of all, I really want to know, how did you guys find the book? How did you enjoy it? Let me know your rating. For me, this is a 5-star. I absolutely loved this book. Now, part of me is wondering if I really loved it, couldn't put it down because it was all the apprehension and the excitement of it being released. There was so much hype around it. And this is like, I'm very new to the book world. So this was my first big release being in this community and being like obsessed with books. So I found it incredibly overwhelming and quite intense, like how excited everybody is and how it was almost like such a race to get the book read so you could avoid seeing spoilers. So I don't know if it was that made me absolutely race through it, but I genuinely feel like this was just such a good book. I did do a reread of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame over the last couple of weeks. I literally finished Iron Flame on Monday night, so I was ready to go for Tuesday, and I still really enjoyed Iron Flame. It's still a 4-star for me, but I didn't enjoy it as much as Fourth Wing. There's definitely a lot that I'd forgotten. Like, whilst this, I feel like, I don't know how far in advance she writes these books, but it felt like maybe Rebecca had listened to the fans, because I feel like we got what we wanted in this book. There was a lot of action and fast. It was very fast paced. Like, I've seen people online saying they didn't think much happened, but I mean, at the end of chapter 1, we have a venin attack. I thought there was action from the first chapter. I felt like there was lots of things happening. They were always doing something. We had a lot of time with the side characters, which I am going to go into in a minute. We had a lot more Violet and Xaden time. So yeah, I feel like she gave us what we wanted within this book, and it's definitely, I don't think it quite hits. I think Fourth Wing will always be my number 1. I feel like that book's very special, but this is definitely number 2 for sure. I loved that we had more time with the characters, in particular Riddick. Oh my god, he was 100% one of my favorites in this book. He was so funny. This is a really funny book. I never really laugh at books. I'm very hard to make laugh when I'm reading a book, but I laughed out loud reading this several times. There were so many funny moments, some particularly moment, like off the top of my head, when Riddick did the impression of Violet and Xaden, when he was like, if you could just stop getting into trouble for 5 fucking minutes. That was great. I really loved when they were all on the horses and Xaden was in a really good mood because there was no magic, and he asked a question about Violet and Dane's childhood and everybody was just in shock. I thought that was a brilliant moment. And was it Drake who said, that could not be the same fucking guy? I literally thought that was brilliant. I also felt like the characters in this book, so in particular Violet and Xaden, I feel like we had some character development. So I did find them a little bit annoying in Iron Flame. The whole, you're keeping secrets from me. Well, ask the right questions. Like, honestly, that was grinding on my gears. By the end of Iron Flame, I was like, for God's sake, guys, just sort your shit out. But they did have like a more healthier relationship in this, and I felt like Violet has definitely grown. It was nice to see her being so confident and like sure of herself. I absolutely love her. I think she's up there with like my favorite female main characters. Like, I think it's her and Aelin and Manon for me. Yeah, I think she's a badass. She's so intelligent. She's just, she's incredible, isn't she? She's got it all. And obviously our man Xaden. I honestly didn't think he could get any better, but here we are. Here we are. Like, honestly, I don't care that he's venin. I really don't. I did think the whole thing with the Prince Holden was very anticlimactic. I'd seen theories online that we were going to have an ex from Violet. I loved seeing jealous, possessive Xaden. In real life, that would have been a red flag, but in the books, it's hot, right? I kind of loved it when he was really jealous and used his shadow to like knock him against the wall. Thought that was great. good old Professor Ryerson. But yeah, I thought it was kind of anticlimactic, to be honest. I kind of thought there was going to be a bit more argy-bargy with them. I thought there was going to maybe be, I don't know, like obviously Violet and Xaden, they're so in love, like, you know, what they have is very special. I knew she wasn't going to be like turned or anything, and I didn't want like a love triangle, but I just felt like it felt a little bit anticlimactic. I don't know if anybody else thought that. But can we please take a moment? One of the things that shocked me the most in this book was what happened when they were in Dorelli, is that how you say it? And Holden's guard, Captain Windshire, is that her name? The fact that she was killed and fed to the Panthers. I was reading that and I literally, she'd said something about, my eyes had flicked to the next page and I'd seen that they lifted up the plate and it was her head. And so when I went next, like back to where I was reading, the fact that she was like, there was a big slab of meat and like, what kind of cow would that come from? I was like, oh my fucking God, they have killed her and fed her to the Panthers. That is fucking grim. That honestly shook me. That was like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. I did think there was going to be a more major character death in this book. Now, don't get me wrong. I thought Traeger, is that how you say his name? I thought his death was really, really cruel. I actually felt really sorry for Kat. I don't know if this is normal. I know she was a dick to Violet in Iron Flame. I know that. But let's be honest. I think we'd all be dicks if we'd lost out to Xaden, right? And she does do a lot. I feel like she has got a kind heart underneath. She obviously cares for her friends, and it's never easy working with like the next lover or whatever, is it? And she's obviously in a very hostile environment, which must be really stressful. She's finally found a bit of happiness and moved on, and he gets taken away by a bloody game with an arrow. I honestly really, really felt for her. I thought that was just so cruel and really shocking. I was not expecting that whatsoever. Quinn's death, however, was a little bit more sad, but still, Quinn to me was a side character. She's not Imogen, Bodhi, Garrick. She's not Rhiannon, Sawyer, Riddoch. Do you know what I mean? She's not one of like the main side characters. She's a side character. Did I cry? Yes. I still thought it was really, really sad. But I genuinely thought we were going to lose one of those major characters. I thought Mira was a goner. Like when she had her throat slit, I literally gasped out loud because I was like, oh my God. I had a feeling, I thought one of the siblings was going to die, 100%. So I thought that this was what I thought was going to happen. So I was so shocked, but thankfully she was okay. But yeah, I thought we were going to have, or I thought Dane was going to maybe die, something like that. I thought there was going to be a major character death, but I have seen some TikTok videos of Rebecca saying that in book 4, not everyone we love is going to make it. So we obviously just need to protect ourselves for like 2 years' time. There was definitely a lot of questions answered that I had been asking after the first 2 books. So the fact that we got to know a bit more and meet Xaden's mum, I felt so sorry for him. That was just such, I mean, that Isle was absolutely fucked up, wasn't it? Let's be honest, that was wild. The fact that they tried to poison them with the cake, but Violet had already poisoned them. I mean, what a woman. We also got to find out about Violet's second signet of being a dream walker, which I had kind of had a hinted about because I thought in Iron Flame, when she was seeing the nightmares, I was like, I think that's Xaden's dream. I don't think it's her dream. I hadn't realised she was in Marin's dream until like a few chapters later when she mentioned that her brothers have honey brown eyes. And I was thinking to myself, I swear that Violet's family don't have honey brown eyes. And I think that as she kind of channels her signal and gets more powerful, I think it's going to develop into more. I don't think it's going to be just dream. And I even think without the bond of, I'm really bad at saying like the dragon's name, Adenara. I don't know how to say the dragon's names. I've had to like try and Google them. I think, yeah, the bond's still going to be there. And I feel like obviously she did come to the rescue at the end. I think the bond between them is not going to be broken. She's still going to have that connection with her for sure. We also got to find out a little bit more about Violet's backstory about her hair, and it wasn't what I was expecting. I was convinced that Violet was like part venin, or that her mum or dad were part venin or something or other, but obviously that was not the case. I feel like I need to go back and reread those chapters. Well, I'm going back to reread the whole book, but I feel like I definitely kind of missed a few bits on what kind of happened there, because I was still a little bit unsure on like why Lilith was so mad at Asher, her dad. But yeah, obviously we've kind of learned a little bit more about that was quite interesting. Now let's talk about the ending, because I genuinely am a little bit in shock about what happened. Now, I didn't find the ending, I thought we were going to have like a really emotional, like, oh my God, ending. I feel like the best way of describing the ending of this book is a headfuck. I need to know your thoughts on who do you think is Xaden's new venin brother. I'm going for Bodhi. Mainly because there were a few hints. I can't remember all of them, but there was one in particular. I think it was when they were doing runes, when they were at Ryerson House. And it said about him not being there in the afternoons. And I thought, that's weird. And there was a couple of other things as well that made me think we're a little bit suspect. And there was also, wasn't that, I can't remember who said it to him, but someone said something to him like, oh, don't you wish you had like the power of your brother? So yeah, that is what I'm thinking. And I also think that would make sense for why Xaden had to marry Violet so that she would be the heir, because he had no family ties anymore. That is also my thinking of who the brother is. So let me know who you think it is. But yeah, that is what I'm thinking. I don't think it's Garrick. I know that he's missing. I think that he has just gone off with Xaden to be part of this plan, whatever. He's got a plan. That is what I keep saying to myself, that he's got a plan. He's got things in control. He hasn't just run off to, you know, be full venin. Like, he knows what he's doing. That's what I keep trying to tell myself. Obviously, the marriage, I kind of had an inkling this was going to happen, because marriage, consort, it was mentioned so many times within the book. Like when he was like, boyfriend and girlfriend is too loose a term for what we are. Like, oh, kills me. I kind of had a feeling that they were going to get married at some point. It didn't happen in the way that I thought it was going to happen, but there were so many hints that made me think, okay, yes, this is going to happen, like for sure. And I also think now, thinking back, do you remember, where were they? Was it when, I think it was when they were, was it at Ryerson House? She'd said something like he was really calm. And I think it's because he was kind of setting up plans. And I think that was when he was kind of getting all his plans in place. Like, I think he's got an idea of what he needs to do. And that's when he kind of like obviously was sorting out the ring and stuff like that. I think that she was awake. I think what will have happened is she would have woken up. She would have agreed to marry him because obviously she loves him. She'd do anything for him. And I think what has potentially happened, I was talking to Amy, if you're watching this, on Instagram, and she said an interesting point of, she thinks that Sigale, is that how you say her name, and Tairn have had their bond cut. I don't know if you can do that, but she thinks the mating bond has been separated, and I think this would make sense. That was why he was recovering, because we've never heard about him having to recover before, have we? I think that maybe that mating bond has been cut, either because obviously Sigale and Xaden have now gone off on this mission, and it means that they don't have to come back every few days to see each other. And also it could have been done from the other side, from Tairn. Is that how you say Tairn? Sorry, I'm terrible with the dragon names. Because he didn't agree with them basically forcing Violet's hand into the marriage, because he didn't trust Xaden, did he? He called him the Dark One. He only trusted him because Violet and Sigale trusted him. I don't think he would have been very happy with that situation, and maybe that was just the final straw. So I don't think there is a bond between them anymore, and that's why Violet said that when she reached out for Xaden's bond, it wasn't there. But I think this is going to be like a Court of Mist and Fury. You know, when we were all absolutely panicking that they cut the mating bond between Favourite and Rhys, and she went back to the Spring Court, and we were like, oh my Christ, what's going to happen? The bond will be back. I'm convinced the bond is going to be back. I feel like it's not been gone forever. They've just done it for the time being. Like, that's what I keep telling myself, that it's going to be okay. I need to know why she got Imogen to wipe her memories though. Obviously, was Imogen there? I'm guessing she was. Did Xaden maybe tell her his plans, and then she was like, wipe my memories so that I can't be, you know, that she's not like a liability? I don't know. Did they maybe separate the bonds so that people aren't going to try and kill Violet to kill Xaden? Oh, I don't know. There's so many possibilities that are literally going through my head. I feel like my mind is going at 1,000,000 miles per hour. But I think the next book is going to obviously be, I think the next book's going to be torturous, because I feel like we're not going to have much Violet Xaden time at all. I don't even know if we're going to have any Xaden point of views. Like, maybe Rebecca's just going to leave us in the dark with what Xaden's doing. But what I think's happened is he's gone on a mission. He's taken the dragon eggs, taken, like, I don't know, definitely the dragon eggs. I think he's gone on a mission to try and either gather allies or an army to try and, I don't know, stop whatever's happening. I think he knows what he's doing, which is, like I said, I feel like he's been getting these plans into place for a while. That is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping he's done an Aelin. He knows what he's doing. He's just not told anyone else about it. And it's going to be fine. And I think it's going to be her obviously navigating this whole trying to get her memory back. I feel like she will get the memory back because obviously she is a dream walker. She'll see it maybe in Imogen's dreams, or she'll get her memories back. I have every faith that she will find it, and it'll be a case of trying to find him and what's going on. I don't think he's fully turned. I know that he channeled a lot from the ice when he was protecting Sir Gale. I think, because obviously he still could recognise Violet's love for him, and he still loves Violet, so he doesn't not feel anything. Like, I'm convinced there's going to be a cure. He's going to get out of this. Like, I will not accept any other outcome, that he will be cured. So I need to know, like, what you guys have taken from it. What do you think happened? What do you think is going to happen next? Like, I need to know your theories. I need to know if there's anything else that you picked up throughout the book. Obviously, Eric is going to be, I think, quite a big part of it because he can see the future. So yeah, I'm really, really intrigued to know what you guys thought and what you think is going to happen next. I'm in shock. I'm honestly in shock. I feel like I don't know. Yeah, it's not what I was expecting. It's not what I was expecting the ending to be at all. Like, in ways, I'm glad because I genuinely thought like Xaden was going to turn full venin, or like he was going to die or something or other. So I am quite glad. I feel like there's still hope. That's what I keep telling myself, that there's hope. But yeah, I'm also absolutely terrified as well. But I love this book. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was great, and that kind of just solidified how much I love this series. I love the characters. I love the story. There's so many, this is like throwing a glass for me. Like, there's so many characters in this book that I actually care about, and I really enjoy reading, and would actually hurt me if they died. So yeah, so I'm going to go back and reread it. I feel like I can relax a little bit now knowing, I feel like I can relax knowing what happens. So now I can go back and take my time with it, take it all in. I did end up getting 2 copies because I did a pre-order, and then I went and bought it on the day because I couldn't wait for it to arrive. So I might even do some like highlighting, like, honestly, what is my life, to see if there's any hints or anything for things that I've like not picked up on. But yeah, it was great. I had a great time. So please talk to me, because no one else that I really know has finished it yet, because I finished it so quickly. I really want to just chat about this book and try and just process what the hell I've just read. And also, what am I supposed to read next? Like, I know I'm going to do the reread. Like, I did say to my husband last night, like, part of me doesn't know if I can put myself through it again, because I sometimes get a bit like this. I get really obsessive over like a book or a book series, and I'm a bit like, it just kind of keeps hurting my heart. And sometimes I'm like, it's better to just have a clean break and move on. But I feel like I'm not ready to move on just yet. So yeah, I'm going to reread it, see if there's anything that I missed, pick up on the bits. I'm just not ready to say goodbye to Violet and Xaden just yet. And then I think maybe next week I'll think about reading something else. I've got a couple of options in my head, so we will see. But yeah, honestly, I just needed to sit down and talk about this video. I finished it at 8 o'clock last night, and I've just not been able to think about anything else since. So yeah, please let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. Yeah, that is all guys. I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye.